Have you done this before?
I had one reading a couple of months ago. And then actually, one of my friends sent your podcast to me, and I scheduled my reading with you. So I took like the first available date you had, which was in July, the 31st, which was Sunday. And it was just a crazy day.
Yeah. The other day, and then I had to reschedule, and yeah, so we landed. We're here. Obviously, every medium does receive their information differently, and so my job is just to kind of give you what I sense, see, and feel. Your job is just to interpret the information to your best knowing as well. So maybe you can help me understand this emotion. It's almost like I'm trying to figure out how to balance family things as far as like one objective, and I'm having to do something that I really wasn't aware that I would have to do in this time of my life, but I'm making the best of it. I'm navigating it, making choices and decisions. Is this connected to your grandbaby? Because they're making me feel, I don't even know who I'm talking with yet, but they're making me feel like we're having to take more initiative and more charge and be responsible for, I feel like, the grandbaby, or for a human, or for a person where you didn't think that it would be this way. So I don't know. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
So who's the father figure for you on the other side?
The father figure?
Is your dad passed, or somebody like a dad?
My dad passed, but I was 3, so I don't actually.
Oh, perfect. No, cool. So your memory has nothing to do with those that have passed, right? So they're still past, which means that although we may not feel like we're close to somebody physically, in spirit land, the thing is our souls of our loved ones never leave us. So although you were 3, it's really beautiful in a way to know that there's been a soul that's been with you from a very young age. But then there's a grandfather coming forward. So it says dad passed.
Yes.
And then were you close to a grandfather or an uncle that's passed?
I was close to my grandfather when I was younger, not so much as I got older.
So did he supplement father energy for you because your dad had died?
That would be my stepdad.
So is he in spirit?
Yes. Okay. He passed away also.
Okay. See, there's some, so stepdad is trying to make me, so that's that. So a moment ago when I was wondering if you had like another grandfather or an uncle that you were close to on the other side, in addition to his dad, that's your stepdad. Got it. So because there's supplemental energy coming your way as far as father-like energy. So so we have your biological dad, we have his dad, and then we have your stepdad in spirit. Do you have a son?
Yes.
Where does the drugs come in? Where did somebody on like medications or street drugs that's getting in the way of their walk of life? Or did one of them deal with street drugs or medication? How do you understand the drugs?
That's my youngest son.
Has he passed?
Yes.
Okay.
He did pass, and he was on drugs. He had went to rehab, and he had just came home from rehab a month before he died.
Okay, so don't tell me anything else, because I'm going to let the information come in organically. Died from the heart. Did his heart just stop?
It did.
Okay, listen. He's taken accountability of choices and decisions surrounding his life. Although, yes, he was doing better. He was trying to do better. He died from something that wasn't going to create or cause a legacy issue.
He had COVID.
So where does the falling, where does the going to the ground? Did you fall to the ground when you find out he died?
Yes.
That's what that is. Was he also on the vent or an oxygen thing?
Yes, he was on a ventilator.
Because he's, okay. Because I'm a stranger, his soul is approaching me as if he was physically in a body here. Because it's important that you know that he's protecting your heart with the right intentions. You must not have had a good experience before, or something had to have been skewed, or something something had to have caused you some other sorts of something of another, whether you're thinking of other things or something else came forward in a way that it shouldn't. I don't know. Something was not correctly displayed in front of you. And he's giving me protection around your heart. And he's trying to walk around me as if like, because he doesn't know me. So it's like I'm a stranger. So it's not that he doesn't talk to people. It's just that maybe it takes him a second to talk to people until he gets to know them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. So do you understand though what he was trying to talk about as far as like something in front of you being displayed incorrectly, or like you being skewed? And I don't know what that meant. Did he come through in the other reading?
I think so.
That's enough said right there to where you couldn't walk away confidently knowing that you connected to him. Is that right?
Right. So I booked you probably the next day.
See, that's what he's telling me. That's what that was that moment when you watch this back, when I'm like checked out over here and he's like giving me this information about things being presented to you in incorrect ways, where he's protecting the intentions behind this reading to protect your heart, because truly you need to know that his soul is safe, at peace, and with God, and that there would have been no way to prevent what happened to him. And he's so grateful that he died in the way that he did, because it was not from drugs. It was not a statistic. It was something that was he was capable of keeping his legacy intact with the way he died. Because oftentimes we look at that and we're like, but he was doing so well. He was doing so much better and he really wanted to do better. And I can't believe a month later, COVID took him. So it's one of those things where he's just trying to give gratitude surrounding the perspective of which he died. Do you understand that?
I've said that at least 100 times since then.
So you know that this is his way of saying thank you for watching me through all of that, getting me to a finish line to where I can end on a great note. Because he makes me feel like he was very well capable of going back to old habits. And that could have been something he could have. So this wasn't his first rodeo. He's making me feel very concrete in that walk of life, and that this transition was the exact time period that he could have had to take out, because he's truly just trying, now that he knows that this is the way it's turning out to be, and he trusts me, and his intentions are much, you can feel it in the rhythm of the way I'm speaking even. And I think that it's important that you know that he's so grateful for who you are as his mom, because you truly are adequate and you've done plenty, you've done enough. And he so admires your strength, because you do a great job at letting go of things that you can't control, and you surrender faith and hope, knowing that things will be taken care of. But the thing is, it takes a lot of strength to be that person, but you are that person to him. You did everything you could to help understand him too. He's like, I wasn't the easiest to always communicate with, or the easiest to like understand or get. And I just want her to know that she did everything in her power and her knowing to make me feel loved and to make me feel heard. Was he kind of younger though? Like, how do you understand the number 19? Or 23? 19 to 23. Was he younger?
Yes.
Boy, so he gave me 23. So was he 24 when he died?
Yes.
So was that celebration one of a kind? Was that celebration something to think of? Did you see him? Did you celebrate? Was there something there that we can hold on to?
His 24th birthday? No, his 24th birthday, he was in rehab, and they did have a really big party for him. I didn't get to make it down. I was supposed to, but something came up and I didn't get there.
So, okay. So was that his last birthday?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, do you ever hold reservations, or do you ever have the what ifs, the woulda, coulda, should haves? I wish I would have just made time to go see him.
Yes, because the reason that I didn't go in hindsight was really just fucking stupid.
Listen,
I have a lot of guilt there.
To tell you to take that guilt and throw it in the trash, because he's literally like taking me to 23, like 23, and then 24, turning 24 was the last birthday that he had that you missed out on. And there was something about this moment of time that you to let go of the guilt. Okay, that's all what that is. That's what he's trying to get through. That's because he doesn't want us to hold on to anything like that. He wants us to replace the negative connotations with positive ones. Now, did his body, okay, wait. So did his heart, okay, because he's taking me to the day when he died, and the vent, and he's in the heart. So was it simultaneous? Like, was he just not getting better, and then his heart just stopped before we had the chance to pull the plug?
His heart stopped the day before.
Because listen, that's what he's giving me. The heart stopped before the plug. So we never really had to make a choice. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because that's what he's coming through with. There was no choice. It happened the way that it had to be. Like, so we need to just know that I'm over here, and I'm very grateful for how I died. Okay. It's important that you hear it that way, because we can be angry. We can be angry with God. We can be angry with the world. We can be angry with all of that. But that's only hurting you, he says, and that you need to know that I am okay, and that I'm not angry anymore. I have clarity. I have understanding. I have a lot of friends over here too. So I don't know if he was not one to make friends or a lot of friends, like the right kinds of friends, but he's with the right kinds of people. Are you going to release something for him, or did you release balloons or lanterns for him?
We did.
Okay. Did you write him a letter? Did you write him a note?
I have, but not with the release. No.
That's okay. It's just moving on to different validations, just to like talk about things that you've done in his memory. Because he just keeps saying, I love and miss you too. And he's just acknowledging what you've done in his memory. So the grandson that you have, is that his son?
That's his son.
Because he's taken me back to the very beginning of your reading, and he was the one that was giving me that information. So I need you to know the way that you are handling yourself, the way you are parenting your grandson, because are you having to be his parent, basically, in a way?
I am.
Okay, because he says parenting.
Yeah.
So how you're choosing to do that, he is so grateful for, and he just loves you so much for stepping up, and he's so sorry, but he has no doubt that you're going to be a huge part in this kid's life, this son's life, my buddy's life. Like, he's just like, I need you to know that he can see me. He can see me, and he can feel me, and he can experience me. So he has to be under 2 though. Is he like 18 months?
Yes, he is. He's 17 months actually.
So he's going to be 18 months, because he's trying to acknowledge how he's going to still be around for birthdays and milestones, and he knows about what's going on. And you're not doing this alone, although emotionally you feel kind of like stuck in this position of like, oh my gosh, but I'm going to do the best I can. I know my son would want these things. I know my son would want me to do this. So he keeps just praising you and really thanking you with gratitude, because you don't hear it enough, he says. She does not hear it enough, how amazing she is and how much she does for so many others. And I just need her to know how truly grateful I am. Is that Dad, Pops? Who's in the room?
That's my daughter-in-law. I'm at her house right now.
So who's Dad? Who's Pops? Who's Dad? Pops? Is someone called Pops?
Not that I can think of.
Do you find that you're kind of going through a deja vu with your grandson, with your son?
Yes, in a lot of ways.
Because he says, my mom sees me in my son. He sees, or she sees, like the mischievous energy. There's a lot of like crazy, like he's crazy. He's totally like me. He's totally like my little buddy. It's like, but there's something about his eyes. So do you feel connected to his eyes? Do you feel like you see your son in him?
Yes, he has his daddy's eyes for sure.
Perfect. So know that that's just truly his way of validating that not only is your son's soul safe and at peace, and I want to say in the light, because there's not a religion connotation. So it's like with God, but it's not the God that we would say in religion. So was he not connected to religion?
He was raised in church, but once my boys got old enough to, I couldn't force them to go. They've all made their own choices. He when he got in a bind, he would always want me to pray for him or pray with him, but I don't know. I feel like he had made his peace with God in the end. I'm positive of that, but his relationship, I don't know.
So it's one of those things where he's acknowledging where he's at. He is with God, but he's using a form of a validation to just clarify his walk of faith, because that would make sense. We're not dealing with a super religious soul. But it's all the same. He's like, we all go to the same place, Mom. Like, we all go to the same place. It's almost like there had to have been spiritual talk or religious talk or afterlife talk at some point, because he's really making sure it's known that we all go to the same place. It's so much better than we think. It's so much more beautiful. He's like, I've never felt more alive. Literally, he's just said, I've never felt more alive. And so I think it's really good for you to just let go of any reservations of where he's at, what he's doing, because that's the thing. It's like, he says, my mom just wants to know where I'm at, what I'm doing, but she's fine. Like she's like she's taking care of shit, but like, she just is curious in where I'm at and what I'm doing. So you have, true.
I'm a control freak with all of my children. I have to know where they are and what they're doing. And it pisses me off that I don't know where Nick is and how to get in touch with him. And I tell him that all the time.
I love that. So what a better way of like coming through than with personality, because that's what he's doing. And really overcoming the passing part and really overcoming the fact of how he died and all of those things that we're going through. So were you there when he died?
Yes.
Because I can feel you next to me. I can feel like you touching my arm. Did you know though that that's when he was going to die? Did you know? It's almost like this feeling of knowing that this was what's going to take him, but I don't want to believe it.
I mean, he was in, yeah. I didn't know exactly when, but there was a day within like 24, maybe 12 to 24 hours that I finally accepted that he wasn't going to recover.
So you had a moment of knowing, but then you were in denial, and then you got to the place of understanding that this was what's going to take him. You surrendered, and then the day after he passed.
Yes.
Because he kept saying she knew. But did you help let him go, or did you kiss his forehead, or I don't know, there's just something about releasing his soul. He just wants to thank you.
I did.
Because he wasn't afraid. He was not afraid. He's like, I'm sad that I had to go. I'm sad I had to leave. I'm sad that I had to leave my boy. I'm sad but I need her to know that when you pass, you actually become a different purpose. You have a different purpose. I need her to know that I'm actually going to be a much better and different father for my son than I could be on Earth's side. I can actually help guide, protect, and really steer things. Did he not have full custody of the son? Or was he in and out of his life, or what's going on with that? Because he's making me feel like he tried his best but could never get a right grip on things.
Like I said, he had just came home from rehab. He came home from rehab like a week before Christmas. He had been gone since October. Yeah, so he'd been gone about 2.5 months. And at this time, the baby was 8 months old, I guess.
So the baby doesn't really know much of dad to the degree that he could had those things not happened, or could, I don't know. There's a sense of, he took pride in what he could do, but there's a sense of you knowing that he can do more on the other side, which I understand kind of sounds crazy to say, but he can do more in spirit than he can in the physical state, which is just something he's trying to get through so you don't feel like he's missing out.
Yeah, because I do.
So did you keep his shirts, clothes? Because I don't know if you're smelling them, or if you've smelled them or hugged them.
Yes, I do. And I have.
Are you thinking of like a blanket, pillow, making something out of them?
I don't know yet. Right now,
Are you thinking about the son? Like, are you thinking one day the son could wear them, have them?
I mean, yes, I'll have something for his kids when they get older. But right now his room is exactly like it was when we left the house.
Is there still the sense of being able to smell him? Is that correct? Can you still smell things that remind you of him? 'Cause he's putting his
Yes,
in front of me.
right before I left the house today.
So know that that's his way of really showing up for you today and knowing that he's with you. He's with you every step of the way. He's earth side. He's what's it called? Earth-based. Some souls don't have any unfinished things to do or any other things to work on. So like they have more permission and freedom of being able to go in different directions. But when a soul leaves this early out of a body, it doesn't mean that their job here is done. And you can feel them.
Yeah, sometimes.
He says she can feel me. She just needs to let go and embrace it. And the anxiety bubbles that you feel that aren't yours is him. Pressure on your chest is him. The cardinals, I don't know, birds, flying things, all the signs, all the symbols. Like, just trust that that's him. Do you find feathers?
No.
So there's something, I saw one white feather, so I don't know what that meant. Just keep an eye out, because I think that could be a way for him to just give you more signs and symbols than you think. Are you seeing an influx of seeing angel numbers like 1111?
Sometimes, yes.
Pay attention. Things are happening. All right. Especially the waking up at 3, all that little like witchy woohoo kind of stuff. It's like you're experiencing spiritual stuff. You're experiencing soul stuff. So, but just know that that's how they can get through on a normal basis level, like where you don't need to have a medium every time to connect to them.
So the waking up at 3.
Yeah. All the above, you're just connecting to the 3 because that's something you've noticed. It's around you.
Yeah.
The things are around you. Okay. It's your job now to embrace the relationship and this new capacity. It's your job now to take this experience, know that he exists, know that there's no way I could have connected to him if he didn't, and then go from there and really drive it home as far as, what does this look like, son? How can we have this relationship? You can continue to talk to him. You can continue to have him in your thoughts and keep his memory alive. He's not going anywhere. So just know that anytime you feel like a little pressure here, I don't know, he's doing this to my shoulders. There's just a lot of strength coming your way, like lifting up.
Okay.
He's great.
He's funny.
He's great. I hope this helps you. And when I get the link, I'll send it over to you so you can watch it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I love it, how he had me just continue to talk about the stuff in the beginning. Like, I'm like, I don't even know who I'm talking to yet. That was cool.
He's very shy until he's not.
That's why it was an emotion. Like, that's why I wasn't hearing it. It was a feeling. And then it wasn't until he started circling around me and then he like came through me, that thing from, and you'll see it. You'll see the progression of the energy take place. You'll see the very beginning. I'm like, why do I feel this? And then it's like sun, and then drugs, and then it's like and then da. So it's like that is vibrational work. That's energy. Okay. And that's really neat to watch it back, because then you could be like, oh my gosh, that's my son doing that. So anyway, because it's not me, I'm just the telephone. Like I have nothing to do with this except for just being the vocal box for them. So you really need to walk away from this experience knowing that this is about him, knowing that this is about him trying to get to you, and that you guys can continue this relationship.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I hope you have a great day. It was good chatting.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.